Okay, so we got the recording going again. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. What's a reflex? So here are the various steps. You put your hand on attack. The sensory information travels in the dorsal root down a sensory neuron into the spinal cord. There are interneurons that send some signals to the brain. Other ones automatically send a reflex action so that the muscles contract without you even knowing it. And you don't have to think about it and go, okay, let me control this activity. Let's have the hand on attack, and then it hurts. And then I got to process it in the spinal cord. Then it's got to leave the spinal cord system in order to make the survival so you don't burn your hands. So a reflex takes sensory information, dumps it into the spinal cord, into neurons, organize the connections. Some go to the muscle to cause the movement of the hand, so that's a reflex, an automatic unlearned behavior. Okay, so we have monosynaptic reflexes. It's a simple reflex arc. We have stretch reflex in the muscles and in the also the muscle spindle and the stretch reflex. So what does that mean? So when you have this hammer and you have the stretching of this muscle here, that is the change in the length of the muscle is going to send information into the spinal cord, and that's going to lead to this input stage, to an integration speed, and to integrate the ability to have a reflex. So here we have a simple reflex coming in from okay, so let's keep going. We're almost finished. Polysynaptic reflex is going to be involved in information going to cause you to move your hand. Information goes to the central nervous system. And here we have to have, for this muscle to move your hand away from the hot frying pan handle, you have to have the extensors inhibited. So it's multiple synapses. That's why it's called a polysynaptic reflex. Okay, reflexes are rapid, automatic responses that help us survive, and they're unlearned. They're just built into our system, and we just have to pay attention. And when we do get in trouble, okay, so let's see what else we got. Okay, let's finish up with these last slides. Okay, we'll talk about more of the peripheral nervous system. Let's go back, and we're recording. Good, we're recording. And so the last part of the lecture will go back to the PowerPoint and the sensory pathways and the afferent pathways. That's the afferent pathway and the efferent. So information is carried and processed by the spinal cord, but information is sent in an ascending pathway up to the sensory homunculus, up to the sensory center, And then information is going to be sent motor pathways from all of these centers and back to go through the spinal cord to cause muscle movement, glandular secretion, and every time we have a reflex, it's automatic, but we are aware of the reflex, and that is the result of sensory input through these ascending pathways and output through the descending pathways. So you don't have to know these various names of these. You just have to know that there are ascending pathways and descending pathways, because whatever happens in the spinal cord and in the input and the muscular response by descending pathways. Okay, so just read through these portions here. The autonomic nervous system takes care of your heartbeat, your digestion, your urination, your elimination, and your reproductive functions. It's all automatic. It's what's called autonomic. And the autonomic nervous system has a particular anatomy. So let's look at the picture and let's keep going. So we're going to have the sympathetic division, which is the fight or flight, and they're going to be preganglionic neurons and postganglionic neurons. So you can see that the sympathetic system has the preganglionic neuron originate in the thoracic segments of the spinal cord and the lumbar segments. So you're going to have right here, you can see little synapses. It may be hard to see. So this is a preganglionic neuron, and then you have a synapse with a postganglionic neurons. And so control of blinking and eye movement and secretion of saliva, heartbeat, lung function, liver function, digestive function, all that's automatically controlled. You don't have to think about digesting your food. You don't have to think about your heart beating. You don't have to think about your lungs expanding and getting smaller in order to bring air into your lungs. So that's the sympathetic division. And as a preganglionic neuron, you can see a little gap here. So these are preganglionic neurons for the sympathetic system, and those neurons originate in the thoracic and mammillary part of the spinal cord, and they go on to do all of this automatic function. Then we have the parasympathetic division, and these preganglionic neurons originate in the cranial and in the preganglionic neurons are much longer, and the synapse occurs at the organ. So the opposite effect of the sympathetic system is going to control what kind of tears you have, how your eyes move, whether the saliva is thick or thin, and so on, your heartbeat, your lung function, liver function, all of these parts of the digestive system, the bladder, the kidneys, and so on, all those are going to lead to rest and digest. Okay, we'll stop there and move back to the place. Any questions? So we'll have the test T3 from Friday through Sunday. Get your WebAssign done, and I'll be correcting the rest of the question checks. And remember, the question checks are for homework points, and that'll lead to what percentage you get on the group question checks and the WebAssign, and that'll control 50 possible test points. So keep working on WebAssign, finish your question check questions, and There's a test that'll be available T3 from Friday the 16th until Sunday the 18th. Any questions?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So the test, I know it's due by Sunday, but is it due like around 11 p.m. like it normally is?
Yes, it's
Okay.
all due at always 11:45.
Okay, thank you.
So do your practice. The practices are up, and do those over and over again, and you'll be ready for the test. The grades have been pretty good. Any other questions? You noticed I had a tough time today because I didn't sleep much last night. So you may have noticed I zoned out sometimes, but I've had a lot of problems with lung function and fluid on my lungs and heart function and so on, but I'm much better. And I'll be sending out a Google form to make sure what's the best time to call everybody, because I've talked to some students, but I want to talk to everybody and address particular questions for each student. So you'll probably be getting that late Thursday and respond to the form, fill it out, and I'm going to give anybody who fills it out 5 extra test points, since I forgot to lecture on the muscle system. I just got distracted, and anyway, I forgot to lecture on that. So I'll give anybody who gives me the phone number again and the best time and best day to call, I will give 5 test points. Okay, any other questions? Okay, hasta la vista. I corrected all of the WebAssign responses for people who clicked right on the edge of an image, and I gave points for that. And also, I have not checked the question checks in a while, so I will do that tonight or tomorrow, or definitely by the weekend. Have a great day.